This is an update video due to a change in the legislation that we first told you about in 2019. How would you like to get newly minted 2021 Morgan and Peace dollars? Well, the legislation has been approved, and we will have details of this amazing news right after this. Hey YouTubers, this is J and B, and welcome to our JB Coins family. We're all about coins and currency. We have new videos every day and are here to help you either start your new collection, expand an existing one, or maybe find that one valuable coin that can change your life. Now, last year, there was legislation pending to authorize the U.S. Mint to make both the 1921 Peace and Morgan dollars as 2021 commemoratives. But it died before it could be passed. It just ran out of time. On July 16, 2019, United States Representatives Emanuel Cleaver, Democrat from Missouri, and Andy Barr, Republican from Kentucky, introduced at the time H.R. 3757, which we told you about back then. It was the 2021 Commemorative Silver Dollar Coin Act, that was its name, which called for the issuance of 2021 dated Morgan and Peace dollars to mark the centennial of the transition from Morgan to Peace dollars in 1921. An organization known as PAN worked very hard to get the word out about that legislation. More information about PAN is available at pancoins.org. You can also see our video where we talked about this legislation way back in 2019. Now comes the news that it finally happened. It passed. And we will see these coins minted in 2021. The 100th anniversary of the transition between the original ones. Now, they have made some changes from the original legislation. First, they apparently will not be struck at the Carson City Mint on Old Press number 1 like the original legislation called for. That's a bummer. But they will instead mint them with a privy mark where the mint mark should be, is what they're saying. We don't usually do this, but we would like to read portions of the actual legislation that was approved because it's got a lot of very cool and interesting things in it that we have not heard of as yet. We did shorten it slightly to remove some of the parts that we really would have no interest in and have no effect on what we really care about, which is the coins. It also explains how they will be made and minted. This is right from the legislation. So, House Bill 6192, titled 1921 Silver Dollar Coin Act Anniversary, titled 1921 Silver Dollar Coin Anniversary Act. This is the actual discussion on the bill. Mr. Cleaver, Madam Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that the Committee on Financial Services be discharged from further consideration of the bill, H.R. 6192, to require the Secretary of the Treasury to honor the 100th anniversary of completion of coinage of the Morgan dollar and the 100th anniversary of commencement of coinage of the Peace dollar, and for other purposes, and ask for its immediate consideration in the House. The clerk read the title of the bill. The Speaker pro tempore, is there objection to the request of the gentleman from Missouri? There was no objection. The text of the bill is as follows. H.R. 6192 be enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled. Section 1, short title. This act may be cited as the 1921 Dollar Coin Anniversary Act. Section 2, findings. The Congress finds the following. Number 1, in December 1921, the peace silver dollar was approved by Treasury Secretary Andrew Mellon, replacing the Morgan silver dollar and commemorating the declaration of peace between the United States and the Imperial German government. Number 2, the peace silver dollar was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Morgan silver dollar was minted at Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, Carson City, and New Orleans. Number 3, the peace silver dollar was designed by Anthony D. Francisi with the Goddess of Liberty on the obverse and a bald eagle clutching the olive branch, a symbol of peace, on the reverse. The peace silver dollars were minted between 1921 to 1935. The Morgan silver dollar was designed by George T. Morgan and was minted from 1878 to 1904 and again in 1921. The obverse depicts a profile portrait of Lady Liberty and on the reverse a heraldic eagle. Number 5, the conversion from the Morgan silver dollar to the peace silver dollar in 1921 reflected a pivotal moment in American history. The Morgan silver dollar represents the country's westward expansion and industrial development in the late 19th century. The peace silver dollar symbolizes the country's coming of age as an international power while recognizing the sacrifices made by her citizens in World War I and celebrating the victory and peace that ensued. Number 6, these iconic silver dollars with vastly different representations of Lady Liberty and the American Eagle reflect the changing of the guard in 1921 in the United States and therefore, on the 100th anniversary, must begin to be minted again to commemorate this significant evolution of American freedom. Here come the details. Section 3, Coin Specifications. A. $1 silver coins. The Secretary of the Treasury, hereafter in this act referred to as the Secretary, shall mint and issue $1 coins in recognition of the 100th anniversary of the completion of coinage of the Morgan dollar and the 100th anniversary of commencement of coinage of the peace dollar, each of which shall 1. Weigh 26.73 grams, have a diameter of 1.5 inches, contain not less than 90% silver, and have a reeded edge. As well, it will be legal tender. The coins minted under this act shall be legal tender, as provided in Section 5103 of Title 31 United States Code. They will be numismatic items for the purposes of Sections 5134 and 5136 of Title 31 United States Code. All coins minted under this act shall be considered to be numismatic items. Interjecting here for a second, what they're saying is they will not be commemoratives. They will be regular strikes of some sort. Going back to the legislation, design of the coins, design requirements. In general, the designs of the coins minted under this act shall honor either the Morgan dollar or the peace dollar as follows. The Morgan dollar, honoring the 100th anniversary of completion of the coinage of the Morgan dollar, shall have an obverse design and a reverse design that are renditions of the designs historically used on the obverse and reverse of the Morgan dollar. B. The peace dollar. This coin, honoring the 100th anniversary of commencement of coinage of the peace dollar, shall have an obverse design and reverse design that are renditions of the designs historically used on the obverse and reverse of the peace dollar. B. Selection. The design of the coins minted under this act shall be selected by the Secretary after consultation with the Commission of Fine Arts and reviewed by the Citizens Coinage Advisory Committee. Interjecting again, you will hear of them very shortly. Issuance of coins. Here's where it gets really, really cool. The Secretary may issue coins minted under this act beginning on January 1st, 2021. 6. Sale of coins. A. Sale price. The coins issued under this act shall be sold to the Secretary at a price equal to the sum of the face value of the coins, $1, and 2, the cost of designing and issuing the coins, including labor, materials, dyes, use of machinery, overhead expenses, marketing, and shipping. So in other words, it's not going to cost us $1. They'll sell it for much more. Bulk sales. This is interesting. I'm not sure why they put this in here. The Secretary may make bulk sales of the coins issued under this act at a reasonable discount. 7. Financial assurances. The Secretary of the Treasury shall take such actions as may be necessary to ensure that the minting and issuing of the coins under the act will not result in any net cost to the U.S. government. Now, there was an amendment offered by Mr. Cleaver. Mr. Cleaver, Madam Speaker, I have an amendment at the desk. The Speaker pro tempore, the clerk, will report the amendment. The clerk reads it as follows. Strike all after the enacting clause and insert the following. And they repeat a lot of what we've already read from the actual legislation, and they make slight changes to the verbiage, but they basically stick to what the original legislation said. This is the important part. Mr. Cleaver, during the reading, Madam Speaker, I ask unanimous consent, which means no objections, to dispense with the reading. The Speaker pro tempore, is there objection to the request of the gentleman from Missouri? There was no objection. So, the amendment was agreed to with unanimous consent. 100% voted for this, basically. The bill was ordered to be engrossed and read a third time. It was read a third time and passed, and a motion to reconsider was laid on the table. Now, this effort was pushed hard since 2019 by 2 CCAC members. Remember I mentioned them earlier, the CCAC. It's the Citizens Coinage Advisory Committee. Tom Urim and Michael Moran. Tom Urim has said that options of these coins could include issues struck at the Denver, Philadelphia, and San Francisco mints with privy marks added to specific Morgan dollar issues as a tribute to the Carson City Mint and the New Orleans Mint. Urim said discussions include details for both proof and uncirculated releases, with the possibility for special sets to include coins of different finishes from multiple mints. Uncirculated versions could include a 2021 peace dollar struck at the Philadelphia Mint with the original high relief design, and Morgan dollars struck at the Denver and San Francisco mints. Previously, Mr. Ryder, the director of the U.S. Mint, had said that if this legislation passed and they were given authority and direction to manufacture these coins, he had no doubt that these would be among the most successful sales the U.S. Mint has ever had. And that most likely means that the original 500,000 number in the original legislation was a maximum mintage is missing from this legislation. There isn't any limit that we could find in the legislation. So if the U.S. Mint under Mr. Ryder produces these coins and various versions of them, they're going to print enough copies that we should all be able to get them and not have the craziness of the reverse eagle of 2019. At least the way the legislation is read. That's why we wanted to cover that, because everybody's taking their own opinion of where this was progressing, where it was going, how it was approved. We wanted to read this to you so you guys would see how the legislation language and the procedure they use and the authority that they give to the treasurer and the treasury from the secretary, from the legislation, and they actually direct them to manufacture them. So they don't really have a choice. They have to make them. But how cool is it that these have become a reality? And know that we, all of us in this coin collecting community, have had a hand in making it happen. It's been since 2019 that people have been working to make this happen. And now, January 1st, 2021 should be really interesting when these coins come out. I know we will order them when they come out for sure. Thank you for your support in this effort. Please let us know in the comments below what you think and if you plan to buy them when they come out. We read all of your comments and really look forward to hearing your opinions on the great success of these coins finally being approved to come out as new issues. So we hope you liked this video and found it helpful. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe so we can create more videos for you. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.